Even when his voice is low, the message is clear. The sight of an empire was no accident. In the beginning, Kanan wasn't even in charge. And then they added the monster. Hollywood kept pretending they had never heard of him. From the 1950s, we are running the TV war tonight as a relic. The transition from superstars to larger pipelines, the circumstances, and the tale of how a streetwise man created a studio machine and then taught the room to appreciate it are all excluded from the accolades. Instead, start with a blank place instead of the radio or TV. He clarifies that power, Kanan, the persona that everyone could relate to when he was first picked up, was not even real. Later, the machine needed new equipment, so he had to keep his showrunner. He approaches TV more carefully and slowly than he does music, and this is the first sign of that. Later on, we made that stuff, as if I needed to persuade Courtney to stay at work. Thus, it took us more than 2 years to build before it was made public. According to him, he has experience with television, but not in this way. Since Ron isn't a one-time guest or a cameo for influence, he is special. He is building an engine that allows talent, production, and composition to be timed. He talks about reading the projects while seated in the rooms, then watching how they progress, how the rewrites turn out, how the director changes, and what goes beyond the budgetary remarks. Using this cycle, he then develops a recipe that preserves quality. There is no other way to truly assemble your recipe. The room opening for him is audible in real time. The sounds go softer. The networks lean in. The language changes from maybe to anything you want, and the doors he used to knock on are now starting to swing out. It isn't a fake. It is known as operational trust. Budgeting, delivery, and consistency give you leverage. Furthermore, he's distributing it without noise. It is starting to show. See, it's opening up a little. The Kanan pivot, for example, is the best example. Egotism was not Kanan's style. A structural component was present. He cultivated a character that offered fresh opportunities to people he helped. The writer's steadfast focus has given the program an axis that can spread out into its own universe. Seasons, spin-offs, and a universe are produced in this manner. For this reason, the safest choice for a showrunner and a studio to use as a shadow partner is a rapper. This is where he is different from most well-known producers. He has no phone calls to answer. He's calling, selling, moving, and reworking a project if it doesn't work out. This isn't haughty, it is a process. The network's belief will be strengthened or promoted by his timely completion of the unattainable tasks. The phone will now ring when nothing about it sounds like a favor. With writers committed, a schedule set, and a fan base eager to consume, it seems like a plan that is already in motion. His tone is sensible, as he is tired of the showmanship. That's a part of it. Unlike other musicians, he sees television as a means of achieving popularity. Killers are placed in lanes, traffic flow is maintained, and lanes are established to make sure that no one is waiting for inspiration. This suggests that the spectator may not just visit the catalog but also live there, where he is seen as a solution rather than a ploy in the boardroom. Many people hate the awards more than anything else. The question was posed by him. If a platform won't stand behind a show, why stand beneath its chandeliers? He would like to keep creating rather than dressing up for a room where his identity is hidden.
Is the reason, like, when stars doesn't get behind a show like that, is that the reason we don't see you at the Emmys and the Golden Globes?
That's why I don't even...
Additionally, this is where the culture is most splintered. Because the crowd knows the show is a mainstay, they argue over it like sports and reference it like rap. The reviewers take a long pause for lunch. He asks the one issue that should worry a TV tycoon and sets out the discrepancy without begging. Where's the presence inside the structure? If the talk is more important than the trophies, he will go where the discussion can lead to resources, more seasons, more spin-offs, and more output for the base that actually shows up.
About power just as much.
And you
Why
go,
about it?
where is it? And you go, where is it at in the actual...
He doesn't object to the current situation. He's against authorization. Present a schedule and receipts to the gatekeepers to observe how quickly they become partners. All right, as long as the awards are distributed. The machine keeps shipping episodes otherwise. Power is still treated like Sunday service by the fans, and the cosmos keeps growing. That scoreboard is something he is proud of. Repeat, scale, and deliver. After I show up, I'll make more to keep people on the real network. Below that, there's a slightly simpler metric: visibility and possibility for conversion. His goal is to find out how many people discover the show and how often they come back. If he is anxious, a distribution partner may make noise on a larger pipe. The more episodes a partner throws into the lane, the harder it is for the opposition to stay up. The audience takes that to mean momentum. This is regarded by the industry as leverage. He thinks it's typical. Before you are certified, work hard, protect the writers, and begin planning the next season. He has previously been dealt with, as this suggests, which explains why red carpet politics don't seem to have an effect on him. Let the ceremony serve as the reward. We can build on him. Let headlines do the guesswork. He will select an alternative time period. When it comes to results, he is stubborn in a field that is mostly focused on beauty. Be certain that your pipeline is filled. Continue the conversation with vigor. Maintain the basis food supply. Everything else might or might not appear. The engine will remain in the morning. In television, power is the same as pipe size. As he found out early on, networks already broadcast their priorities before a billboard is up. Their financial planning, scheduling, and interactions with reward voters all demonstrate this. Treating your software like oxygen on a platform means that the public is aware of it everywhere. When it doesn't, the amazing episode remains the same. Since the network views something as important, it will be positioned. He doesn't pout over it. He is preparing it. Ads cannot be mysteriously thrown at the viewers if the network does not open the taps. If, on the other hand, he has a crush on a show with no effort, that tells him something further important. The foundation is sufficiently strong to hold pipes. At this time, his calculus changes. He is going to keep feeding the machine. The platform will continue to produce spin-offs and episodes until it is compelled to make a choice. Apply more force to it or observe him walk it to a bigger hose.
So the network is growing at a pace that they're absolutely happy with, as far as stars is concerned.
The subtext can be heard. During the spectacle, the stars seemed bigger. It wasn't always the pipeline that made the spectacle seem bigger. Where else can we be seen? Is gradually replacing Are We Renewed? As a result of this disparity, he even makes reference to downstream distribution in a single line, which would enable fans to watch the series even if they never paid for the original channel. Not shadow, but strategy. The pipeline should be extended for power on stars that show up on Amazon if the job is sticky. It was or something, I think. It's an obvious outcome. More power, information, and possibilities. In another building, the same episode that fought for billboards becomes a magnet. And after you've shown that the audience will follow, you're not begging for promotion anymore. Evidence is the foundation of your negotiations. The next season may then be anything. Do you want to? When scheduling turns into a chore instead of a favor, it's plumbing, not a personal matter. He behaves that way when he answers calls. Don't complain about the tap. Improve your line connection. Aim for reach instead of the trophy. Additionally, avoid becoming high when the reach happens. Create new seasons and characters, and make it a habitable world. Considering that a planet can accomplish things that a single hit cannot, it withstands shifts in the network's tone. Not all worlds are created by themselves. He continues to mention the same names since they explain the result. A showrunner with a high level of stress tolerance. When the action begins, the ensemble seems unstoppable, and it keeps up its impact during quiet moments. By referring to them by name, he is not being flattering. The blueprint is it.
And that one, Courtney Kemp, the writer, showrunner, she's, she's dope. And it's grown, it's good. Like, I feel good about it. Amari Hardwick, we got a whole crew of people there's town.
That is the machine. A writer general, an hourly lead, and a bench deep enough to diverge without losing the plot. In his opinion, music cues are more functional than decorative. If the soundtrack needs to speak for a character in a scenario, then music should be used as a storytelling tool rather than a branding tool.
New people, and I felt like it was more important to have good music speak for the characters at points.
Additionally, the performer is conscious of the environment. You can hear what other celebs are saying when they sit near to him. I am half serious and partly joking because I am fully aware that traveling through the universe alters one's profession. This isn't just a cameo. For fans, it's a way to get into a franchise, much like a postseason ball.
You on power, man. Put me on power, man. There you go. Yeah, we need it.
And this demand is brought on by the globe holding. A character leaving and a new one entering does not deceive the audience. As a new section of the city is developed, the traditions do not change. The fact that they are reliable is no coincidence. The reason for this is staffing. Authors capable of mimicking a voice without actually doing so. Filmmakers who understand when to cut away and when to sit on a face. And it all stems from the math of his producer. A producer who isn't afraid to say one more or move on. Make sure the people who deliver are secure. Continue them and provide frameworks that facilitate the replication of effective choices. Kanan was not a brazen individual. Courtney's job, plot development, and giving viewers an insurmountable enemy were the goals of the axis and framework. Doing that frequently enough will give you more than just a spectacle. You work in a studio there, more like a foreman than a poet. He talks about it. Because entrance to season 6 is gained through blueprints. Actors request to step in due to plans. Why networks will continue to work with you even if you don't win any prizes. And why people flock to spin-offs without a trailer explaining the rules. Then he alters the tone by adjusting the discipline instead. Employing humor as a tactic. Same strategy, different pace. Make the room laugh, pick the pipe, build the engine, and spread the globe. His engines do not vary as he shifts lanes. Comedy isn't an excuse to avoid your job. Increasing his TV time and managing his reputation are two other strategies. It's as easy as day to propose a variety program first, he says. It's just another pipeline he decided to construct because it expands his audience and goes beyond what they anticipate from him. There's no mystery about it.
BT, I had sold the variety show to A&E first.
The universe was created by drama, then comedy heats the space. In his ideal environment, individuals can relax, interviews aren't PR marathons, and shooting and story twists can touch delicate subjects. Additionally, it is brand insurance. Freezing them out becomes more difficult the more formats he can command. A&E says yes right now, but tomorrow someone else says yes. Opportunities to show humanity in front of millions of people appear on a whim. And he elaborates on why this lane is so important at this moment. The criteria have been relaxed. Sharp edges, which formerly made networks cringe, are now embraced. It's an opening rather than turmoil. The next person who still believes he's trying out for daytime TV can't match your charisma, humor, and sincerity if you have the timing to stay on the line without getting fired. Consequently, they will begin to do activities that let them express themselves in ways that bring them joy. With softer attire, this is the same playbook as the criminal saga. Create the engine, pick the pipe, deliver on time, and make it hard to overlook. You don't have to go where your audience is just because you beg. You entertain them, and they want to locate you. The chuckle serves as glue rather than ornamentation. It not only gives a mogul a special type of power, the restoration of humanity, but it also keeps them focused in between the more dramatic beats. He might also use comedy to provide a new perspective on his predicament. When a rapper can't play a major role in a sketch, they turn their cameo into a layup. A filmmaker who struggles with combat but excels at timing suddenly appears to be a genius. He can try things without putting the stability of his kingdom at jeopardy. He can scale anything that lands, just as he could scale Kanan into a cosmos. Consequently, the move is not arbitrary. Vertical integration of attention is taking place. Organize Sunday night entertainment for the base. Next, give them a cause to return in the middle of the week for something quicker, looser, and lighter. If people pay attention, the prizes won't say anything. Ratings are also a form of voting. Regarding the TV segments that the majority of people seldom see, he is stern. Although delivery is a ledger, drama could be art. To reach the same frame, he discusses projects that require 3 times the budget. It was actually a shrug of warning. You must learn to be good at math if you want to be in charge of your destiny. Otherwise, it will control you.
They're spending 3 times the budget to do it.
It is not only a grievance. It provides an excuse for making better decisions. Employ workers with both cost-effectiveness and shooting expertise. When the audience is interested, invest. When they are not, take a back seat. Starving the program is not the goal. This is to ensure that spending aligns with the real needs of the show. because the incentive for discipline is leverage rather than recognition. Every phone conversation feels unique because of the heat on the screen and the delivery's under-budget status. He applies the same truth to TV music. Music evokes feelings in audiences. From his perspective, they are logistical. Music sometimes feels like an afterthought since, in many contexts, it's what's left over after the major items are purchased. Rather than moaning, he uses it as an excuse for why his performances appear to have been evaluated on purpose rather than by accident.
In the last place in the budget that they actually allocated their finances to getting.
This isn't a romantic fix. Decide which cues should be included, fight for the music as if it were a character, and establish a budget in advance. A larger scene is performed when the song serves as a scene partner. It's a waste of money if the song is used as wallpaper. He applies the same discipline in other contexts. Eliminate anything that fails to inspire the audience. Instead of allowing noise to be confused with value, invest in the parts that function. This sermon's other element is the way it was delivered. The trust is weakened if you go on dates. It won't matter what else you say if you miss them. The first one has earned him a reputation. Scripts that show up on time. These dailies allow executives to unwind. The episodes without lawyers changing half of the conversation. It is the clear standard. The potential to flirt with the comedy block on one network while continuing a criminal narrative on another is unglamorous. The right every day that the moguls do is this. His production is always on time. The art does not exist outside of that field. Rather, it thrives within it. He continues to turn perception into mechanics. If the billboards and the numbers indicate different things, trust the numbers and act appropriately. Regarding how networks promote the ones they have selected, he is direct. This is demonstrated by the mailers, the sets for your consideration, and the manner that certain programs receive a slick presentation while others are reminded to show gratitude on Thursdays.
Because it was like, you can see the priorities. Like the networks, you see those things like for your consideration.
I don't even know what that is.
Like inside the different publications or on for your consideration.
This is why he won't compare himself to someone else's booklet. He will print himself in forms they did not create on channels they do not control if they do not publish him. He doesn't have any allergies to any places. He simply refuses to let them be the exclusive mirror. There is no evidence that matters but the presence that converts. Viewers become subscribers. Season renewals are coming from subscribers. Watchers pleaded for a spin-off character before the pilot's credits rolled.
And you haven't seen that, but you've seen huge
Numbers can deceive you, but they're not everything. Should the rooms continue to fill up and the streams continue to rise, the campaign you missed will be forgotten. Your own advertising turns you into the product. Ironically, you start receiving calls from the businesses you avoid. That's the loop. Making the task indisputable will cause the optics to gradually shift to reflect the fact you have already established. For this reason, he continues to add nights, pipes, and forms. Should provide additional spaces so that the audience can say yes, rather than appear to be busy. The posters may take a while to appear when they do. The performance starts on time. The TV narrative isn't enigmatic. Create the engine. Hire murderers. Select the appropriate pipe and deliver it as though your life depended on it. Upon it, he knighted himself without waiting for a panel. Sold a variety show because people are more interested in laughing than in prizes, and they kept costs low so that the art could grow without having to beg. Awards may catch up eventually. They might not. In any case, his creation continues to pay off in the form of new lanes, revitalizations, and punctual traffic. Oh, he respects that scoreboard. The remainder are comments if all the rooms are occupied. Despite his quiet voice, it is clear what he wants to express. You can continue exporting without owning the pipelines you can manage. If you continue that long enough, the brochures will begin to resemble history pages, and in real time, the people who are actually looking at them will choose what is important.